In our second video, we will be talking about loading files and choosing the correct file settings in IDA Pro. There are a few ways to load a file in IDA. Option 1. When you run IDA, click on New from the Quick Start dialog and select the file you want to work on. Option 2. In IDA, from the menu, select File, Open, and then click on the file you want to load. Option 3. From the Quick Access toolbar, click on the first icon and select the file. Option 4. Simply drag and drop the file on the IDA icon on the desktop. Option 5. Drag and drop a file onto an empty IDA window. Now, let's load a file in IDA and discuss the settings. When you open a file, you will be proposed with some file types. This is a list of IDA loaders that will work best with the chosen file. In our case, it consists of Windows PE loader, MS-DOS exe loader, and the binary file option. You will see that the last option will always appear, as this is IDA's fallback loader for files that it doesn't recognize. If you know which loader will best suit your needs, then go ahead and select it. If not, the best thing to do is to use the default selection. Let's see what loaders will we have if we input an ARM file. In our case, we have just two options. The next thing you need to do is to select the processor type. In most of the cases, IDA will choose the most suitable processor type, as it reads the information in the file headers. In some cases, IDA can't provide a suitable processor type, and you will need to select one manually. In our case, IDA has recognized the file type and the processor type. Luckily, IDA identified the loader and the processor type for the ARM file too. The next fields, loading segment and loading offset, are only active when you select the binary file loader and an 86 processor. Even if you forget to specify the addresses, you could do that later. In the analysis section, we have two checkboxes that are checked by default. You would want to uncheck the enabled auto analysis box only if you believe that doing analysis on the input file would not be useful, or if you have some custom analysis and want to run them before IDA's own analysis. You can choose to re-enable auto-analysis afterwards. If you don't want to see the progression of the analysis in the status line, uncheck the indicator enabled checkbox. Kernel options 1, 2 and 3 allow us to configure certain disassembly analysis settings. You will notice that when opening different files, different checkboxes will be checked. The pre-checked checkboxes we are looking at here are typical of a Windows portable executable file. See the difference when we open a macro file for ARM. IDA does a great job with its default options, but if you need specific settings, then you can do that by selecting the options that apply best to your needs. If you would like to learn more about the different settings, click on the link in the description below. The processor options give you access to settings that apply to the selected processor. Bear in mind that there might be cases where these settings wouldn't be available. If you are a beginner with IDA, we recommend you to stick to the default options. Let's look at the two files again and see the different options available. This is the PE file, Intel 64 for Windows, and here are the options that are available for this processor module. Now, let's load an ARM file for macOS and compare. We can see that the ARM file has more settings than the PE file. The last set of settings are mostly for fine-tuning the file loading process. As you see, these are dependent on the input file. In most of the cases, you can use the default settings. Let's look again at the PE and the Mac-O file. You will notice that the Mac-O file allows you to modify fewer settings compared to the PE file. If you would like to learn more about the settings, check the link in the description below. If you are a newbie to IDA, we would highly recommend you to use the default settings. The next thing to do is to click OK and confirm. Now you can continue with your analysis. We hope that you enjoyed this video. Show us how we did it below and don't forget to keep following our channel for more helpful content.